caretakers, right? But we're going to take care of each other, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start right now. Before I give it to Sarah, I want you to stop. Okay, the doctor over there told me I need to hold it for a minute, so let's hold it for a minute. One more time. And if you didn't hear it, you didn't do it. So I want you to practice it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Solandra. So I know we're standing between lunch, so we won't go on too long. But I do want to give our international sisters an opportunity to kind of share their work and our discussion from yesterday. So yesterday we had a discussion, excuse me, and in this discussion, we spent time getting to know each other. And yesterday I was so happy when I got in my room last night, just thinking about yesterday, because these sisters came in the room, and some of them knew each other, but didn't know each other like that. But they came in the room, and you think we're all family, right? And it was wonderful from jump. It was like that, right? And I want to thank all of you for bringing that spirit into the room and opening up and just sharing with each other, right? And supporting each other. And it was amazing. And so I want to share a little bit of what happened yesterday. I'm going to start with you, Bosh, Miss Ghana. If you could share with us, she's laughing, share with us a little bit about what you took from yesterday.
Thank you. Good morning again. My name is Bash from Ghana, Bashira to Kamal. I work with the labor union, Agric Workers Union, precisely, and I'm a serial activist as well. And I do work on gender, labor, and safeguarding generally. Before I mention what happened yesterday, I think a key thing I need to also mention is the fact that we've all have to deal, and we are still dealing with the trauma of the transatlantic slave trade. But then we shouldn't forget that slavery is manifesting in a different form, in what we call modern day slavery, and which is manifesting in different aspects: child labor, sex trafficking, especially human trafficking. And we have parents who are selling their children for as low as $1, just so that they can get money to feed as well. So whilst we are reflecting on all of these issues, it's important for us to also find new ways of ensuring that our future is intact if we want to build a better future and a better world for everyone across the globe. So going back to yesterday.
Not to interrupt you, but I think it's important for you to tell everybody who else you work with.
Who?
Yeah, the project on combating
Yeah,
slavery.
so I work on a project with ActionAid on combating modern slavery in Ghana. That's how come I decided to share the bit on the experience with you as well. I think yesterday we had a great discussion as a group, but one key thing that kept running through our discussion is issues to do with women's economic empowerment, where we talk about equal pay for work of equal value. So we also have to deal with issues of gender pay gap, which is a key thing for women. And then the biggest is gender-based violence and harassment. And I want all of us to understand that wherever gender-based violence and harassment thrives, it's difficult for women to be economically empowered, for women to be in spaces and speak on their issues and their lived experiences. It's difficult for women to be able to assert their rights as citizens, global citizens or local citizens as well. And it's also important when the connection was made between the African sisters together and also our sisters here, that our issues are the same. It's just the faces and the locations that differ. But when we do come together, great things are going to happen. And that is why a gathering like this gives a lot of us motivation and inspiration to carry on, even in the face of the fatigue and the stress. And when we look around sometimes in our countries where governments are consistently also closing civic spaces, and there's persecution of activists. Some may not be out there, but even labor leaders are having to go through some of the challenges as well. So from yesterday, I think we've all come to an understanding that BWR is not just a US thing. It's a global thing and it's an African thing. And we need to work together to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. I'd like to go to Epiphania next. And Epiphania, she's smiling. You're doing a lot of work in the Dominican Republic. And I'm going to kind of leave it open and let you share. You can decide which piece you want to talk about. So what channel should...
Spanish is channel 2.
Which is where, yep.
French is channel 3. And Portuguese is channel 4. You need to put your headset.
So for most people, it'd be... Go ahead, sister.
Most people channel 1. I'm sorry? No, channel 1 is channel 1 is for English. Yes.
Thank you. Me siento más que honrada. Muchas gracias. Thank you, merci un pile. Me siento más que honrada en esta conferencia donde me encuentro con mujeres negras, mujeres de mi raza, mujeres afro, mujeres de mis ancestros. Honorable audiencia y distinguidos panelistas, líderes y activistas presentes en esta significativa mesa redonda de mujeres de la diáspora africana. Es un honor dirigirme a ustedes en este momento crucial en nuestra lucha y en la igualdad y la justicia. Hoy nos reunimos para explorar y abogar por pilares fundamentales necesarios para proteger los derechos humanos de las personas. Es con un profundo y llamado a la reflexión y me dirijo a ustedes para abordar la problemática que no solo atañe a nuestra conciencia colectiva, sino que también existen acciones decididas en nuestro país. Observemos con dolor cómo la simple diferencia de la totalidad de la piel parece ser en ocasión una razón para que se violenten los derechos fundamentales y la dignidad de las personas negras. Esta realidad, lejos de ser un mero conflicto, representa una violación de los principios fundamentales que debería regir nuestra sociedad. En respeto de los derechos y la dignidad de cada individuo, no debería depender el color de la piel. Sin embargo, en nuestra realidad cotidiana nos enfrentamos a incertidumbres y al miedo constante de ser víctimas de las políticas discriminatorias que rigen el acceso a nuestros derechos y situaciones que nos encuentran en la desigualdad consistente en una sociedad. La discriminación basada en prejuicios raciales persiste. Resultado vulnerable del sistema de los derechos de las personas negras, especialmente de los migrantes haitianos y dominicanos de ascendencia haitiana. La discriminación no solo constituye una enfrente dignidad de las personas negras, sino que también deleita el Estado de Derechos que aspiramos ser. La negación de derechos fundamentales a cualquier persona basada en el color de la piel representa un retroceso colectivo que socava el progreso cohesional de la sociedad o social. Como mujer negra y líder comunitaria, poseo el entendimiento profundo de las necesidades y las realidades que enfrentan las comunidades del Batey o batellanas de República Dominicana. A lo largo de nuestro año, he estado comprometido a acompañar a los trabajadores haitianos de la caña y dominicanos de ascendencia haitiana. Estas dos poblaciones cuyos derechos son sistematizados, violentados y han sido objeto de dedicación y lucha constante. En primer lugar, deseo abordar la desolación, condición de vida que enfrentan los trabajadores y la familia de los Bateyes de República Dominicana. Estamos frente a una realidad marcada por salarios deprimidos que no logra garantizar la seguridad alimenticia, viviendas que carecen de condiciones básicas, jornada laboral agotada y carencia de documentación que no otorguen una estructura legal para ascender a los derechos y lamentable situación que agravan aún más la situación. Por la negación sistemática de los trabajadores cañeros envejecientes. Thank you.
Take a minute. Take a minute.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fuerza, fuerza negra. Fuerza negra, fuerza negra. Fuerza negra. Fuerza negra, fuerza negra, fuerza negra.
Por la negación sistemática de los trabajadores cañeros envejecientes y la presión, las pensiones y liquidaciones, a pesar de haber dedicado toda su vida en arduo trabajo en los campos de caña, es crucial resaltar las situaciones de los envejecientes que lamentablemente son desalojados de los bateyes, ya que condiciones físicas no les permiten continuar laborando. Este proceso de desalojo ocurre sin que reciban las prestaciones laborales adecuadas, cavado en su vulnerabilidad. La destrucción de los bateyes amplía aún más la realidad de las personas quienes, de ser relanzadas, no encuentran acogida en nuestros lugares, lo que agraventa la situación preocupante, aún más difícil esta situación. No pretendo detallar exhaustivamente todas las violaciones de los derechos de los trabajadores. Sin embargo, me enfocaré en dos medidas arbitrarias tomadas por las autoridades que destacan los temas que ocupan este encuentro, donde se abordan el rol de mujeres de la economía. En primer lugar, retrocederemos al 2021, cuando iniciamos con las deportaciones de las mujeres haitianas, mujeres negras y dominicanas de ascendencia haitiana, y se le negó el acceso a los servicios de salud, operativos migratorios, a los hospitales públicos. Esta situación se identificó con las medidas de deportación masivas de inmigrantes haitianos en condiciones irregulares, donde la mayoría, donde de manera violenta los agentes atacan a inmigrantes en sus hogares y bateyes en hora de las madrugadas, exponiendo a los niños y mujeres, graventando la situación desde el año 2023 hasta la actualidad. Es crucial destacar en este panel cómo estos operativos se han convertido en herramientas de extorsión contra la migrante o inmigración haitiana. Es evidente que la población que habita en los bateyes han estado enfrentando numerosos desafíos y problemas a lo largo de esta década, destacándose en ella la persistente problema crucial que también hereda los descendientes de los trabajadores. Un aspecto crucial es la situación de la carencia de documentación personal que coloca a gran parte la población dominicana de ascendencia haitiana en riesgo de apatridia en República Dominicana. Ser hijo de cañeros significa, lamentablemente, que los derechos básicos son sistematizadas, violentadas y regidos. Es ampliamente reconocido a nivel internacional que durante varios años el Estado Dominicano ha restringido el acceso a los derechos a la nacionalidad a personas nacidas en el país descendientes de haitianos, basado en la negación de su origen de padres. La sentencia 168-13 representó un punto de inflexión significativo, coalizando la política de desnacionalización por parte del Estado Dominicano, arrojando más de 200,000 personas en un estado de apatridia. La privación arbitraria de la nacionalidad amplía una restricción significativa al acceso y goce de pleno de los derechos fundamentales. Aquellas personas afectadas enfrentan barreras para acceder al empleo, tienen limitaciones de la libertad de movimiento, enfrentan obstáculos para acceder a la educación superior, experimentar retenciones de las posibilidades de viajar, encontrar dificultades para realizar declaraciones de sus hijos, y esta situación tiene un impacto profundo en la vida cotidiana de quienes ven privilegio injustamente a la nacionalidad. El trabajo que hacemos desde el Centro de Solidaridad, estamos comprometidos con la causa de empoderar a los trabajadores y a su familia, brindándole la herramienta necesaria para defender y hacer valer los derechos fundamentales. Nuestra labor se enfoca en fortalecer las organizaciones sindicales dirigidas por los propios trabajadores, incentivándolos a unirse, a colaborar a la defensa colectiva de sus intereses laborales. Muchas gracias.
Forever. Thank you, Epifania. I know that it was not easy, and we're going to continue to support y'all, right? And fight with you, not just support, right? I mean, really stand with you and fight with you. So I'm going to move on to South Africa. I got to tell you, South Africa been quiet. I'm not used to it. I'm like, South Africa's still in the house. And I'm going to call on our sister, President Losi, to speak to us about how in your country you are dealing with the issue of gender-based violence and all that you've done around it in South Africa.
Thank you very much.
And raise your hand so everybody know where you
yes.
are.
Amandla! Amandla! Viva Black Women Roundtable! Viva! Aluta! Thank you very much. It is a great honor indeed, speaking on behalf of the South African Black women seated here in this massive round table. Thank you, Sister Barbara, when you said the space will always be, we just have to put more tables and more chairs for all of us to sit, and definitely South Africa and the Southern African region is taking advantage of this, and we're hopeful that we will be also launching soon, working with our civil society. I'm gonna try and gallop. Firstly, I want to say that the trade union movement in South Africa has fought long and hard for the adoption of Convention 190 on elimination of violence and sexual harassment in the world of work by the ILO, from the stages of drafting through to lobbying, campaigning, defending the provisions. South African government ratified the convention in 2021. And where we are now, we are calling on a new social contract that will take substantive actions towards gender equality in the world of work. And because we believe that this social contract must be rooted in the SDG 8, with its focus on full and productive employment and decent work. Because for us, decent work includes equal pay for work of equal value. It includes health and safety working conditions. It includes eradication of gender-based violence and harassment and investment in the care economy. So what we have done as the trade union in South Africa, we participate in what we call National Economic Development and Labor Council network, where government, organized labor, civil society, and organized business come together to talk about social economic issues. And here we brought about and we developed a code of good practice on the prevention and elimination of harassment in the world of work. What we've done also is that we were involved as the organized labor from every stage. As I've said earlier on, in the drafting, in the lobbying, until we were able to have these provisions. But also we did not work alone. We work with workers in the informal sector. We worked to ensure that every contractual obligation that workers have signed with their employers in the informal economy, all that is covered by Convention 190. And what we said is that every contractual obligation must mirror the convention itself. So what is it that we think should be done? Because what we also understand is that gender-based violence in the world of work can occur in a workplace itself, it can occur at home, it can occur in a public space, particularly domestic workers who are working in the most enclosed and the most vulnerable space. So what we have done, we have said, we need to ensure that workers have freedom of association and the right to organize and bargain collectively. To us, it is central this to decent work, because one of the most effective and quickest ways to narrow the gender pay gaps, as an example, to address the issues of gender-based violence and harassment, is through the minimum living wages. And we said as organized labor that we must ensure that there is universal protection, and that is extended to workers in formal and in the informal sector. We have said we need to ensure that there's income security to the unemployed and underemployed, which the majority of that is women. We also said that paid maternity leave, childcare, and other social and healthcare support must be given. We also said that insurance against the loss of earnings due to sickness or occupational injuries and adequate pensions in retirement is ensured. And let me say, what is it that we've done? In South Africa, for many years, domestic workers were paid little more than a slave wage. They were paid less than $1 a day, and less than $1 an hour. And in 2019, after over a decade, the government of South Africa, led by President Cyril Ramaphosa at the time when he was the deputy president, we ensured that at the level of NEDLEC, we agreed to a national minimum wage, meant that no worker in South Africa would be paid below the national minimum wage. When we started, we were at 20 rands an hour, which is equivalent then to $1.07. For farm and domestic workers in particular, because they were earning less than that. On the 1st of March, in the month that we're in, that national minimum wage has gone up to 27 rands 58 cents an hour, which is domestic workers and farm workers and all other workers in South Africa, particularly in the vulnerable sector, cannot earn less than $1.50 an hour. But also what we did beyond the national minimum wage to address the issues that you are raising of sexual harassment, but also considering that the most vulnerable workers in the farm areas and all of that are then prone to these violence. South Africa marked a history in the struggle to improve working conditions of domestic workers and farm workers. Our parliament passed the Compensation of Occupational Injuries and Diseases Amendment Act that ensures that first-time domestic workers are insured for any injuries or diseases that they experience in their workplaces. The Amendment Act also recognized that workers have a right to claim for post-traumatic stress disorder that you would have endured during the time of your employment. Workers also have the right to submit 3 years of for compensation fund. But also let me get to this one, and I note the time. In 2018, the Unemployment Insurance Amendment Act became law extending. US comrades, you must take note of this one. We extended the paid maternity leave to mothers who experience stillborn births or third trimester miscarriages. Maternity leave payments were also increased. In the same year, Labor Law Amendment Act came into effect, providing 10 days paid parental leave for parents of newborn children who are not covered by maternity leave, fathers or mothers of children born through surrogacy or same-sex partnership. We also have a 10 weeks paid adoption leave that is now provided when legally adopting a child that is less than 2 years. So this is the work that we've done as South African workers, working with civil society, working with the ILO and Solidarity Center. And we want to say that if a worker also passes away whilst receiving payments of the Unemployment Insurance Fund, that money is also extended to the next of kin. And this is the work that South African workers and civil society has done with our government.
Thank you. Thank you, President Losi. Now, we have 2 more speakers, and I'm just acknowledging that we have 9 minutes before we go to lunch. So, Dean Mono, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to have Rose speak first, and then I'm going to let you kind of talk to us about your leadership program and what we need to do to work on ourselves, to be prepared to take on all this work, right? I'm looking for her. Okay, you see me looking that way. I saw Barbara. I'm like, she must be somewhere over here. Okay, all right, there you go. So, President Rose, General Secretary Rose. So the reason why I say president here is because in Kenya, we call her a General Secretary, but it really is the president of the union. And this sister here has been to the Black Women's Roundtable for years, right? She's been coming. She got on virtually during the pandemic. She has been pushing for it in her country. And to have a powerhouse like this is a woman who worked on changing the country's constitution. So she is a powerhouse. And she is one of the few women who's running a male-dominated union, the Metal Workers Union, right? So every time I see this sister, I'm like, okay, I need to get some knowledge here, right? And inspiration. I so appreciate you, Rose. So I'm gonna let you share with us about how you started the East Africa Women's Roundtable.
Thank you, Sarah, for giving me the opportunity. My name is Rose Omamo. I'm the General Secretary of Amalgamated Union of Kenya Metal Workers. So the Black Women Roundtable here inspired us with what they are doing to their fellow women, with the kind of campaigns, the kind of voting rights as they go for civic education. And it inspired us as a country, and we said that we need to see a Black Women Roundtable in Kenya, and not only in Kenya, but in the entire East Africa. So in the year 2022, we established an East Africa Women Roundtable, and it brought together women from all walks of life. We brought women from the civil society, from the industry, from politics, academia, and we also brought non-governmental organizations within us, the women reps also within us, and the judiciary, and not leaving any woman behind. So we started deliberating on what we need to do, where do we start, and we kept in constant consultation with our sister Salandra and Sarah, and with the support of Solidarity Center office in Kenya. And we agreed that we needed to really launch an East African Women Roundtable that brought together 6 countries, and we included DRC that is just coming up now. And so in November last year, we were able to launch an East African Women Roundtable in Nairobi, Kenya, where we operate from. And so why did we then want to launch this East African Women Roundtable? We looked at us as women in Kenya and East Africa as at large. We also looked at the policies that we have that has left many of us behind. We looked at so many areas, and we came up with a slogan. And our slogan was, "No decision about me without me." That was our slogan. So in that slogan, we looked at 4 thematic areas. And the first thematic area is policy influence. And so we said that the East African Women Roundtable will provide the East African women with a platform for influencing policy in the region, including in the politics and the community level. We also say that it will also advocate for pro-women policy-making processes in the region, because we realize that there are women who are left behind in the region. We also agreed on another thematic area as awareness, where we will sensitize and create awareness amongst women to enhance women participation in all spheres of life. On recognition, we also said that East Africa Women Roundtable will provide the platform for identifying, recognizing, and celebrating outstanding achievement by women, because we realize that women are doing a lot, but nobody celebrates them. They are not anywhere. They are not recorded anywhere. So we said ours will focus on that. And finally, we also said that we need to mentor young women. So on mentorship, we said we will partner and collaborate with similar organizations to provide a platform for mentorship of young women in all spheres of policy making, leadership, and lobbying and advocacy, making sure that no woman is left behind. As the theme of International Women's Day this year, inspire inclusion. And so we are ready to inspire inclusion, to make sure that in all decision-making processes, women's voices are included and are given the spaces that they want to be able to grow together as women. Amandla!
That's right. Thank you, Rose. Appreciate you. So I'm going to turn it over to Dean. Please share.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sarah. Greetings from Ghana. My name is Munovia Sampong, and I'm the Dean for the Dorothy I. Height Global Leadership Academy. And as in Ghana, we would say Akwaba, welcome, and Wezolo to all of you. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak today about the Dorothy I. Height Global Leadership Academy. The Academy is a flagship program of the International Black Women's Public Policy Institute. Our work involves training and empowering women through leadership. We run a 6-month leadership program for women all over the world. And as we call our program global, we ensure that we make a seat at the table for every woman all over the world. We've had women who have joined our program from Ghana, from the Gambia, from South Africa, from Nigeria, from the US, the Bahamas, and Bermuda. Ladies, I'm really excited to let you know that on our program, we run an all Black woman faculty. We also have coaches that support the women in our program. And this as well is an all Black woman coach. Our vision is to empower more women from all over the world. 1, to understand the value of maintaining their cultural heritage, for building unity, and to promote and support more women in leadership positions to make a difference in this world. Some of the programs that we run, and I just mentioned a few, is 1, emotional intelligence. We work with these women to let them understand the importance of emotional intelligence, and we support them. This is why we have the women coaches, because these women understand what the women in our program go through on a day-to-day basis. And so throughout the program, they're there to support them. Coalition building. We all understand how important this is. We need to be able to bring ourselves together, to work together as a team. Cybersecurity. We understand how important that is in today's world. Protocol and etiquette, because we're global. We train these women that wherever they find themselves, they have a seat at the table and they can make their voices heard. Ladies, we are women. We carry so much with us, as we've heard yesterday and today. We can grow, we can help the next generation of leaders, but we can only do this by ensuring that we educate the women leaders that we have, the women who are growing up now to become the decision makers of this world. I would urge all of us to go onto our website, ibwppi.org, learn more about the work that we do, work with us to help to educate more women from all over the world. Together we can make a difference, but we can only make a difference if we train each other to love, to hold hands with each other, to support, so that we can all grow to make this world a better place. Thank you very much.
What a wonderful way
My sister from Ghana here has just said to me, I need to end by saying, Cho boy! Yay! Thank you very much, Sarah. And thank you to the Solidarity Center for all your support in our program. Thank you.
Sarah, sorry, if you would allow, just before you go, and I think it's important with all what has been shared in the room, for us to sing. Just a minute. My sisters, are you there? Are you ready? We are ready. My mother kitchen girl. My father was a garden boy. That's why I am a unionist. I'm a unionist. Oh, my mother was a kitchen girl. My father was a garden boy. That's why I'm an activist. I'm an activist. Oh, that's why I am a unionist. That's why I am a unionist. That's why I am a unionist. I'm a unionist. I'm a unionist. Amala! An injury to all.
Okay, I know people bellies are ready to eat. Thank you. See how see we didn't even practice, and see how they just came together like the gospel choir just brought it together. I love it. I love it. So we're gonna be breaking, but before we break, we could not have done this as a partnership on the behalf of Melanie Campbell and the Black Women's Roundtable and the Black Women's Global Committee. We want the staff of the Solidarity Center to stand up because we could not have done any of this without your assistance. And I believe in giving honor where honor is due. Stand up. If I say stand up, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. So I thank you. I thank you all so much. Because this is not easy. If you ever organized anything. And I appreciate you all. I see 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 you all. And I appreciate you. And I just want to give my sister here a hug because I know it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I thank you for your wonderful staff. And I thank you for all of your support that you give to all of us. And so we're going to give you your flowers now. Okay, and I want you to know that I really love you. So we're gonna let them break for lunch. So I think the Solidarity Center staff is gonna help navigate folks upstairs because the food is upstairs, and then we're gonna navigate back.
Yes.
So
1:30.
at 1:30,